The Austin Drummond hearing completely exploded today after a victim's family member erupted in court, was detained by deputies, and ultimately held in contempt by the judge. But that was only the beginning. Today's hearing was packed with tense exchanges, emotional moments, courtroom drama, and some absolutely wild statements from both the judge and Austin Drummond himself. From arguments over self-representation, to concerns about leaked information ending up on social media, to the judge directly confronting Austin about whether he actually believes he can handle a death penalty case better than experienced attorneys. Today's hearing was intense from start to finish. Follow my page as I lay out what happened. This is Crime in Progress. If you've been following this case, then you already know how dark and complicated the Austin Drummond story is. If you're newer here, go back and watch my earlier Crime in Progress videos for the full breakdown because there is a lot to unpack in this case. At this point, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, while Drummond continues claiming the situation was not what it initially appeared to be. In recordings released from jail, Drummond claims he was set up after the victims allegedly discovered he had been working as a confidential informant. Those claims are heavily disputed by the victims' families. Truly, only God and Austin know what happened in the woods that day. But today's hearing became incredibly emotional when the judge began discussing Austin's request to represent himself in court. As the victims' names were being read, Austin had his head lowered and eyes pointed downward. That's when James Matthew Wilson's father, Matt Wilson, suddenly erupted in the courtroom because he believed Austin was closing his eyes during the reading of the names.
Open your eyes whenever he says their name. Do you hear me? Open your eyes. I'll leave. Open your eyes. I hate you, mother.
The entire hearing instantly went off the rails. Deputies moved in and Wilson was ultimately removed from the courtroom while the judge ordered him detained and held him in contempt.
He's got to be detained.
Quite honestly, the deeper this case goes, the more disturbing some of the details become. Because whether this meeting in the woods was truly a routine meetup connected to illegal activity, or whether it was actually a setup like Drummond claims, one fact still stands out to me above almost everything else. Matthew and Adrianna knowingly brought their infant child along with them. And as a parent, that detail is incredibly difficult for me to process. No matter which version of events people believe, that alone paints a picture of a situation that was already dangerous, unstable, and far from normal before everything spiraled out of control. Today was supposed to be a routine motions hearing. Instead, it turned into one of the most intense courtroom moments this case has seen so far. And it only got crazier from there. I'll be breaking those moments down in the next several Crime in Progress updates. This is Crime in Progress. Thanks for watching.